All right, let's look at break even with a target profit. What if just breaking even, right, not having any profit, isn't enough? What if we would really want to be able to know how many units do we need to sell in order to reach a target profit of some specified number? Can we use the break-even equation to answer a question like that? Well, we can. So let's look at an example. Fixed costs, let's assume they're $24,000. We sell a good at a price of $100. The variable cost per unit is $70, and we don't want to just break even. We want to reach a target profit of $12,000. How could we do that? Well, we can revise the break-even equation, right, the break-even in units equation, and instead of just having fixed costs in the numerator, we add profit to it as if it was just another fixed cost we wanted to cover. So it's fixed cost plus profit divided by the contribution margin per unit. So with the example above, it would be the $24,000 of fixed costs plus the $12,000 of target profit, and then divided by the contribution margin per unit, the $100 selling price minus the $70 variable cost per unit. So we have $36,000 divided by $30, which is 1,200 units. So if we sell 1,200 units, we're not only going to break even, we're going to reach a target profit of $12,000. Sometimes it's more helpful for us to think in terms of sales dollars, right? So break even in units is how many units do we have to sell to reach break even or to reach a target profit. What if we instead were working with the marketing people and they don't necessarily want to think about it in terms of number of units? They might want to think about what are the sales dollars I have to reach. Well, there are two ways to get to that answer. Break even plus profit in units, so take the answer, the 1,200 units, and multiply it by the selling price, and that will tell you the sales volume we need to reach. 1,200 units times the selling price of $100 is $120,000. Another way to look at it would be to take the computation and use instead the break even plus profit in sales dollars equation, which is the fixed cost, plus the profit, and then you divide that not by the contribution margin per unit, instead you divide it by the contribution margin percentage, which is equal to the contribution margin over the sales. So 24,000 plus the 12,000 divided by, instead of $30, in this case it's 30%, and it gives you the answer of $120,000. And the 30% came from the $30 of contribution margin over the selling price of $100, which is 30%. And that's a couple of ways to look at break even with a target profit.